Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm glad that you made it here. Today we're going to draw some pictures of Moody food. Before we get started though, I wanted to remind everybody that there's going to be a live stream drawing again on Thursday at 1 o'clock. If you have suggestions for things that you'd like to see me draw, please bring those ideas to me. You can turn them in with your drawing when you take a picture of it, or you can send them to me in a message or an email. Now, to get started, we're going to need some paper and something to draw with. The first thing to decide is what kind of food would you like to draw? I decided that I'm going to draw a donut. So to start my donut, I'm going to imagine a circle. And some of you have seen me do this before, but circles are kind of tricky to get nice and even. So I'm starting with light lines, and I'm not pushing my pencil down on the paper very hard, because if I make a mistake where my circle is a little bit lopsided, then I can go over it again and fix it. And once I have the shape that I like, I can make that even dark. But not all donuts are perfect circles anyway. That's the outside of my donut. I'm going to do the circle part in the middle for the hole. I'm going to keep it kind of small. That way there's room on the upper part of the donut for a face. Okay, and how about some icing? Maybe some wavy lines around the edge to make it look like that icing is a little bit, and then maybe a little bit of wiggly line on the inside. And how about a few sprinkles? We'll use rectangles. After I have the lines where I want them, I can make them darker. I'm actually going to go over mine in pen. We'll speed that part up a little bit. And as you can see, I kind of had a stray line. I got a little bit sloppy right here. I'm going to use my pen and kind of shade it just a little bit darker to make up for that, and we'll pretend that's a shadow. The next thing that we need to do is to decide what kind of mood or expression our piece of food has. And the easiest way to do that is by giving it a face or some human attributes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a face on my donut, but first you have to decide what kind of mood. You can use this mood meter right here. It has a very neat way to find and organize different types of feelings, and it helps us kind of identify feelings. I'm going to use that. I'm going to pick discouraged. Discouraged was kind of how I was feeling yesterday, and I think it would be helpful for me to express that on my donut. When someone is discouraged, what do you see on their face? Well, it can look a lot of ways. Sometimes discouraged kind of is related to feeling down or a little bit sad. So maybe their eyes, their eyebrows, their shoulders are a little bit droopy. Their mouth might be a little bit kind of like, So kind of feeling quiet. I'm going to put two kind of curved lines here for my donut. One right there, and one right there. Those are going to be the eyes because my donut's eyes are closed. And then a kind of a droopy mouth, a little bit curved. He's discouraged. I'm going to draw some hands or arms on the side too, and his arms are going to be drooped out a little bit. And I'm just going to give him some little fingers on the end of his hand. Okay, there you go. There's your Moody food. I have my discouraged donut. Now this is the part where you can color if you would like to. So what do you do when you feel a little bit moody or discouraged? Sometimes it helps me to have some time alone, drawing or listening to music. Sometimes it actually helps to talk to somebody. Other times I just need to sleep or have something to eat. This is the part where we're going to move on to level 2. If you are a kindergarten through second grader, then you can be done with this assignment at this part once you finished your drawing. But if you'd like to do level 2, you're welcome to join us for level 2. If you're a third through sixth grader, stick around because we have one more step. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our Moody food character and turn him into a short comic or a cartoon comic. We're just going to do a 3-panel frame to tell this story. So here's how it's going to break down. You're going to have 3 boxes here, 1, 2, 3, and I've kind of given you some suggestions or guidelines for how to use each box. That way you're not stuck on how to tell this story. In the first box, we're going to draw what is the food's mood. So that is exactly what we drew in the start of this activity in this first box right here. What did they do next? So your food took some sort of action or something happened. And the point of this is we're telling a story about how our food is changing a mood. I'm not going to tell you exactly how that should happen, but I'll give you an example. And then the last one is what is the new mood? So if you were to look at the mood meter chart, the mood moved, the feeling, right, or the mood. So if you were to look at the mood meter chart, the feeling or the mood moved from one spot to another spot. So you need to think ahead and decide what was the first mood and what is it going to turn to? What is it going to change to? And then after you decide that, we have to think about how that's going to happen. So we're going to start by drawing 3 frames or 3 boxes. I'm going to just freehand it. If you want to be a little more precise, you can use a ruler or something with a straight edge. Now remember, we're thinking about what's our food's mood, what happens next, and what's the new mood. The first thing I'm going to do is draw my Moody donut in my panel again, my discouraged donut. And I'm going to add a little description. In comics, sometimes you have the narrator in a box saying words up here, and sometimes you have dialogue, those speech bubbles or thought bubbles coming from the characters. So I'm going to add a narration box up here. So I'm just going to divide the top here and say, Doughnut was discouraged. Next, we're going to decide what happens and what mood he's moving to. Now, to kind of be realistic, I've decided that Doughnut, he moves from discouraged to hopeful. We talked about some different things that might help, and in this situation, Doughnut is going to have a safe friend or a safe person that is going to help him talk through his feelings. So now he's actually going to be listening to someone. So I'm going to make just a couple adjustments. I'm going to open this eye just a teeny bit because he's starting to listen to his friend Coffee. I'm going to draw a coffee cup. And when we're drawing our different characters or our different objects, remember to think about what shape that thing is, and then what lines we need to make that shape, because lines make shapes. Shapes make pictures, right? So there's coffee. I'm just going to be a little coffee cup with some eyeballs. So Doughnut was discouraged, but he took time to talk with his friend Coffee. Want to talk? And the tricky thing about making comics is sometimes you have to plan ahead. If there's room for speech bubbles or words, you have to plan that space ahead of time. I didn't do the best job of planning it, but I was able to get it to fit in there. Okay, now we have the third panel. So after he talked to Coffee, what happens last, right? So in our story, we have what happens first, what happens next, and what happens last, right? First, next, last. So I'm going to keep it pretty simple. You can keep your comic as simple as possible as long as it communicates the idea that you want it to communicate. He's feeling a little bit more optimistic about the future. Going to give him some eyebrows like that. He's a little bit of a happy face right there. His little donut heart is lifting just a little bit. He's feeling a little bit more confident about himself and about what might happen next. I'm going to narrate that little bit right there to help add that description to the story. The reason that we use words and pictures together is to help whoever's reading the comic understand what's going on. And without my words, maybe you could understand the story, but the words kind of help add a little bit more to the story so that you understand exactly what I'm trying to say when I'm telling this story. Just going to add just a tad bit of shading here. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. I hope you found it helpful to go through this process, and maybe you had a chance to think about how we have different moods and different feelings, what they look like, and how our moods and feelings can change. When you finish this drawing today, don't forget to send a picture to me. I have the 3 different ways that are seeming to work for different people. So once again, you may email your picture to me at daniel@thomasgregg.org. You may upload it on Schoology using the camera in Google Docs. Or if the camera setting in Google Docs isn't working for you or you're having difficulty opening the Google Doc, then I will have another folder that says backup upload, and you can open the assignment and hopefully find the button to attach your upload, submit your upload of a picture that you took of your drawing today. Please don't forget to give me some ideas of what you want me to draw for you guys this week. And once again, stay safe, stay creative, and don't forget that you are an artist.